Hello everyone. I'm just gonna read to you something I wrote exactly almost 3 years ago. It's 2 months short, 3 years ago. And if only the 2025 me could read, what I'd written almost 3 years ago now, um, I would have done a lot of things differently, you know. And it just shows about how much wisdom I had back then. It's the simple things, and it's the surrendering to the divine, the God Most High. You know that He gives you wisdom, and once you start taking life um, in your own wisdom, rather, you kind of lose it. You kind of start heading towards a direction that seems right. The Bible says there is a way that seems right in the eyes of man, but then it end leads to destruction. So I've done like crazy stuff, and that's why I was just looking, at some of the notes I've made throughout my adult life, and this came across, and the title of what I was writing was Purpose. So I'm just gonna read it. It's like 4 pages long. It's been over a year ever since I uploaded any substantial content to this channel. As I'm writing this script, it's been quite a rough time I've experienced, and past few days, a lot of ups and downs, but mostly just downs. I recently found myself paying more attention to existence, and more so to us why I am here today, my purpose, my destination. Deep down in every person's heart, there is a lingering question within the lines. What's my purpose in this? What's my purpose in this life? Why am I here? As a human race, we try so much to debunk this phenomenon. This has led to us establishing more ways to tackle our mysterious existence. As humans, we've come up with both religion and science to guide us through this reality. It's funny how these two still don't correlate. They both are opposite of each other. In my own understanding, religion is a practice guided by a set of rules for humans to try to reach or connect to God or a supernatural being. As for science, this is a more hands-on way through testing and proving as well as observation. Both these ways try to tell us where we came from and where we are headed to. Now, there's this one I haven't touched on, and to be honest, I don't know where exactly to categorize it. It's called astrology. Most of you watching, I'm sure you've come across it and have a knowledge about it. But it's what I'll say. But this is what I'll say about it. This is the most that I put a belief that exists in our society, meaning like it's just foolishness. Personally, I believe in Christianity. For Christianity is the only way, the true way God tries to connect with us. Obviously through Christ, who died for our sins, so that whoever believes doesn't die. Here death means eternal fire prepared for the devils, for the devil and his demons, not humans. There is a lot I can talk about Christianity in depth and broadness, but if you'd love to hear more, hit that subscription button, my boy or woman. I'll definitely do. Now back to the reason of this video. Purpose. Purpose is the great desire within ourselves that drives us to do what we love doing, or aspire to do it, or more so to become what we believe we should become. Recently, in the basketball community, there's been a running joke of how Ja Morant wants to be a thug or creep or a creep. Yeah, this is almost 3 years ago. So, if I haven't even, I don't even keep up with basketball anymore. So, but there was this running joke. I think this is 2023, so I believe this was when Ja was really into a lot of cases about, his conduct, his behavior, especially in the basketball community. That's not what I mean. For purpose, there is value to it. It's fulfilling and has nothing but positivity to it. Purpose gives life. It's aspiring and enlightens people around you or even worldwide. It's a gift from God. No one can dim that light once you achieve your purpose. For me, this YouTube commentary or vlogging may not really suit me well. I know there's so many people who do it better than me, or maybe I am one of those people. You judge. Yeah, you can judge. But someone got to do it. Each and every day we get to witness in our neighborhoods, TVs, phones, different people just like us hitting their full potential, doing exactly what they are meant to do. Celebrities, from celebrities to actors to musicians to athletes, entrepreneurs, ministers, and so on. The list goes on and on. I come from a decent family of a solid foundation in Christianity, and ever since I was a young boy, I was encouraged to pray for whatever I needed, being healing when I'm sick, to passing exams, all the way to having toys. I've used this technique, and of course with maturity to it, to ask for more. That is guidance, wisdom, and knowledge. These three have made me better each day as to why I'm here, my purpose, and how to achieve my dreams. It's usually a wake-up call when you realize just how much time you've wasted trying to please people or doing what you'd normally quit if given the chance. And I hope this is what that wake-up call is. Thanks for watching. I just came across this from, I was just going through my stuff, and I came across this notebook that I've had for the last maybe 4 years, and I haven't, checked on a lot of things I've been writing, and it kind of humbled me knowing just how much wisdom and, should I say, advanced I was by just humbling myself before God and just allowing God to take part in my life. I've come across so many things I wrote down on things I needed to achieve, which now I just look back and I'm like, I had so much faith. I had so much faith, and it got to a point where it got into my mind where I thought, it's in Deuteronomy, I think, verse 17, that says, I took you through the wilderness so that you don't get to say that it was by your strength that you achieved what you achieved, and that's exactly, it hit me that I was so dependent on God. I was so dependent, and just I wouldn't say I was perfect, but I was more like humble, and I was also naive, but it got me to where I am right now. But in that process of achieving greatness and doing more and hitting milestones, it's just like Solomon. You kind of lose your track with God, and you start doing things that exactly God doesn't want you to do. And the enemy, now the devil, would encourage you to do these things because that's exactly what he wants you to do, and he will give you even more reasons why you should do them. He will justify wrongdoing, he will justify wickedness. And this text, whatever I wrote, almost 3 years now, this was, I wrote this 15th of March 2023, and this today, January 2026. And it just humbled me. Just a few years ago, I was so wise, I can say that, compared to a year ago, 2025, where I just did a lot of things that I came to a realization that I'd lost my way with God, and I felt empty, and that's why I had to retrace my steps. Where did I lose it? And it's normally the success. The success gets into your head. You pride, just goes all the way to the roof, and you just lose your steps. So I was just, for the last, I can say, 6 months, I've been retracing my steps, and God has really been teaching me a lot of things that I thought it is necessary for me to share these things, because a lot of people, we're living in a great deception right now, and that's what hit me, that we are living in a great deception. A lot of people are not happy, they're not fulfilled, and I was just praying to God about my purpose. What is it exactly about my purpose? And then I just started going through my stuff, and I came across this notebook where I had written a lot of stuff, and one of the things I'd written was this passage of, this it was a video I was about to make, but I didn't even make it. Clearly God was writing it for the future me to read it and to see, you see. So God is so almighty. That's how you can tell, because I didn't even make this video, I just wrote it down, and it's like I was writing it down for my future self to see just how lost I was in the world. It got to a point where I was doubting the existence of God. Like, if I would just see these things I was writing, probably I would have been humbled, but God didn't even show me that. God just allows you to get lost in that source just long enough until you really need Him, then He starts revealing Himself to you. So I guess that's the end of this video. I just wanted to share what I've been through and the importance of keeping God center stage. He says, keep me first, seek the kingdom first, and everything else will follow. And Jesus says that the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eye is healthy, then your whole body is full of light. But if your eye is unhealthy, that means your body is full of darkness. And if the light you think you have is actually darkness, how deep is that darkness? And that's where I was, like, darkness seemed like light to me. So how deep was that darkness, you see? And it's, I'll just put it on the screen that this is what I had, put down in ChatGPT. I said, summarize the Bible, just recently now, summarize the Bible in 3 words. And this is what it said: God redeems humanity. God redeems humanity. Like, ChatGPT, this wasn't anyone who said it. And that's exactly what God does. And this is the whole purpose of God. Like, literally, He brought me to this point where I had written these things, yet they were not anywhere in my mind. I had lost all track. I was blind. I was lost. But, God is so good. His mercies are so good. Like, they endure forever and ever. And now, whatever I was writing, it has finally caught up to me. And so, I hope this blesses you and it encourages you to seek God, because He is good. He is nearer than what we perceive. So, be blessed.